Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante. Look what that sign says behind me. It says you're making Gotham great again. That's what you're doing. You're all political vigilantes because you're getting your news here. I mean, you could go to the mainstream media and be fed a bunch of lies, hot and fresh lies. That's what the corporate media is giving you. So this just happened. The CIA just declassified the document that justified the Iraq invasion. The Bush White House looks very, very, very bad. That document that they kept referring to, that they used, that Bush and Powell and Rumsfeld and Cheney all used to lie us into that illegal war, it's been declassified. And it says something a little different than what they told us 17 years ago. The intelligence community concluded in a 93-page classified document used to justify the invasion of Iraq that it lacked specific information on many key aspects of Iraq President Saddam Hussein's WMD programs. George Bush lied about it. I know we're all supposed to love him now because he's buddies with Ellen, but he's a lying war criminal. That's what a war criminal does. 1 million Iraqis died. Thousands of Americans died. Tens of thousands of Americans came back with physical and mental wounds. That document, remember what was classified? National security. They classified it because they knew there was no weapons of mass destruction, so they had to classify it. That's how they lie to us. Right? Officials citing the same classified document asserted with no uncertainty, this is 17 years ago, that Iraq was actively pursuing nuclear weapons, concealing a vast chemical and biological weapons arsenal, and posing an immediate and grave threat to the U.S. national security. Remember that? The Taliban in Afghanistan giving safe haven for Al-Qaeda, the people that bombed 9/11. Okay, I remember kind of like I could sort of see that. I could kind of see that. Iraq, what? They said Iraq, Saddam, terrorism. Not that Saddam was a good guy, but they just tied him in for what? And the media went along and lied to helped. It's so funny, like, when they say, Russia RT, that's Russian state-sponsored TV. Yeah, it is. And what's ours? Corporate warmongering TV? Congress eventually concluded that the Bush administration had overstated its dire warnings about the Iraq threat. Oh, okay, that's cool. We've still been at war. We're, 18 years later on the global war on terror, trillions of dollars spent. That trillions of dollars could be spent on so many things. America could be a utopia that shines a light around the world and makes the whole planet better. We could be like, man, we've already started to reverse climate change. We started 18, 19 years ago, right after 9/11. We just did it. We said no more Middle Eastern oil. We're off Remember when we used to use oil for our cars? We could all be sitting here saying this right now. Remember before 9/11, we all drove those dirty gas cars? Remember that? Now we're all driving electric cars and cars running on biodiesel and hydrogen. And remember that? Remember now there's like solar panels everywhere and wind turbines everywhere, and all those Americans got put back to work to get off of Middle Eastern oil because actually not using oil is better for our national security? You remember that? Nope. Congress said it overstated its dire warnings. Yeah, overstated. That's cool. Yeah, I think it was maybe overstated that the iceberg by the Titanic was maybe not that big. It was an overstatement. Maybe we just overstated the Hindenburg. I don't know. It had a little fire issue, I guess. And that the administration claims about Iraq's WMD program were not supported by the underlying intelligence reporting. That's what we've come up with now. 2002, then Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld claimed the U.S. had bulletproof evidence linking Hussein's regime to the terrorist group. Bulletproof. Remember a lot of people protested going into Iraq? Remember that? People on the streets? And then they all went to sleep when Obama came in and took us from 2 wars to 7. You remember that? And now there's not that big of an anti-war movement. We've got Code Pink, thank God. But Where's the anti-war? Now you have people on the left, when Trump says he doesn't want to do war, people on the left are like mad that he doesn't want to go to war. Let me tell you something. I don't like Trump. I'm not happy he's president. But I've seen war up close, and it's pretty awful. And if he wants people like, with nuclear weapons like North Korea and Russia and China to not, because I don't know if you know this, World War III would end life on Earth. I don't know, maybe that's an overstatement like we just heard. It's unbelievable. Flat out lied. Bulletproof. Rumsfeld. Another one of these detestable, soulless, maggot-ridden liars that came out of the Bush administration. Congress later investigated into pre-war Iraq intelligence, concluded that the intelligence community based its claims about Iraqis' chemical and biological training provided to al-Qaeda on a single source. And the link to this whole article is in this. Read the whole article, and it'll go into detail this source, who they tortured, and just basically said what they wanted to hear because they were torturing him. That's why torture doesn't work. I mean, you start torturing me, man, I'll say I hate surfing and I love eating beef. I mean, I'll tell you whatever you want to hear to make the torture end. What he later claimed, the single source, that Iraq never sent any chemical, biological, or nuclear substances or any trainers to al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. So Iraq had nothing to do with Afghanistan. Nothing. I get after 9/11 there needed to be some type of military response. Okay, Afghanistan. Again, we've been in Afghanistan for 18 years. Imagine if we were still fighting the Japanese in 1959. Again, what if we just went to Afghanistan, we got the Taliban out of there, and now Afghanistan had schools and hospitals, and they had an international soccer team, and we played there, and we could go to Kabul as tourists, just like we can go to Ho Chi Minh City. What if it was like that? Nope. Still bombing. There's kids joining the military that were born after 9/11. That's what's happening. And it was all more of these lies. Remember when Colin Powell said this to the UN?
Saddam Hussein and his regime will stop at nothing until something stops him.
Powell argued Iraq is deceiving the weapons inspectors.
This was a typical American show, complete with stunts and special effects.
That was the Iraqi guy. Saddam's Minister of Information was actually more honest than Colin Powell. So you'll forgive me if I don't go along with these type of photos and tweets. Michelle Obama giving Bush, we're BFFs. Look at him. Look at her hugging war criminal George Bush. Because you know what? Her husband is a war criminal. Obama set the Middle East. Her husband dropped more bombs than Bush. So by comparison, George W. Bush is more cuddly. How many poor people were set on fire and killed and lost family members from George Bush and Obama and now Trump? See how there's no difference? So you forgive me when Ellen is yucking it up with George W. in the suite. And I already put a video out about this. WikiLeaks has shown Ellen has been a mouthpiece for the State Department. She's not she's been willing to play ball with the Secretary of State since 2011, even before then though. In 1997, when she came out of the closet, the CIA, their tracking software went nuts because they were tracking all of these negative things said about. A lot of homophobic stuff was said about her when she came out in 1997. But why would the CIA care about one Hollywood celebrity coming out of she was a sitcom star at the time. A sitcom star comes out of the closet? Why is the CIA tracking that? Why is that on their radar? Is she a CIA asset? I don't know, but we know this. Thanks to WikiLeaks, that she has been willing to push whatever narrative she can push. So you know what? Let's soften the image of war criminal George Bush, right? Who was in favor of going to Iran. Hillary Clinton was in favor as a senator. There's a clip from 2007. Hillary Clinton, we got to get the evil. See what I'm saying? There's not two parties, there's two classes. And they need Iran's oil. They need Venezuela's oil. So we normalize war criminals with cute Hollywood celebrities that are doing the CIA and the State Department's bidding, and it normalizes everything. See how they did it 17 years ago? The CIA documents, how they lied us into Iraq? They want to lie us into more wars? That's all they want to do? That's all they want to do. Thanks for getting your news here. I'm completely member supported. I don't get any money from Boeing or Northrop Grumman or any of those people, the RNC or the DNC. They don't give me money. They don't give me any money at all. So I'm dependent upon you. So please go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You get bonus content for as little as $5 a month. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I put all my videos up there so they're ad-free. And if you endorse me, you're helping me get residual income. Rockfin is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. So Google can't buy it because Google is throttling me right now. Please make sure you're subscribed. They've been unsubscribing people. Some people like Graham, I've subscribed to your channel 3 and 4 times because they keep unsubscribing me. See what they're doing? Report it. Do whatever you can. Get loud, but support what I'm doing any way that you can. I have a P.O. box. If you go to grahamelwood.com, I have a P.O. box. I have a PayPal button if you want to do a one-time donation. Any way you can support this show helps. Liking, sharing the videos, putting them out on your social media, all of that helps so that we can get messages like this out that the corporate media doesn't want you to hear, because the corporate media is owned by the ruling class. So they're going to push the ruling class's narrative. That's why Ellen gets a TV show where she can normalize a war criminal, and I got to stand here in a black t-shirt in my apartment. Because I lost my home to foreclosure thanks to Bush and Obama. See, both presidents screwed me out of my home, along with 10 million other families who lost their homes. See, isn't it great? And that all happened so we could pay for this war, this never-ending war cycle. How are we going to pay for Medicare for all? Nobody asked how we're going to pay for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, or Syria, or Libya, or Somalia, or any of the other places we're in constant war. Nobody asked how we're going to pay for it. Thanks for watching what I'm doing. Thanks for supporting this. You're all making Gotham great again. Thank you.